Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna make a trip to get some hand sanitizer. Now, really what's gonna happen is I wanted to get the summer weather in tow, just because October is probably gonna be the last month where it's gonna be walkable. Last year, January, February, March, it was really like icy and snow was all over the place, and you just didn't want to go outside. You know, if you really paid attention, it was just all over the place, them talking about, you know, like ice storms, and, you know, so people weren't able to go anywhere because of how cold it was. But so I'm gonna get some hand sanitizer. And I live about, 10 minutes away from a mall, so I'm gonna fuck around and do that. Okay, so now we're on the street pending from what's getting ready to happen. So obviously I'm gonna be able to get to where I'm going, and we'll get there. So the mall is on the horizon. My mall is not particularly spectacular, but it does have like 3 or 4 stores in it that are worthwhile. One of them being Spencer's, another being Hot Topic, and I'd probably say like there might be 1 or 2 other ones. But if you can think about your local mall and then decide what is worthwhile to look at. I mean, unfortunately, this mall isn't 2 stories, but I've tripped right there. I've pretty much known about it for a long time. So this is an extra place to go, and why not? So I'm going to talk about some stuff. I'm going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! While I'm on my way up here. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card game. It was really popular back in 2000, 2001. There was a show that went along with it that basically sapped all the popularity of Pokemon, but then it ended abruptly in 2004. I remember back in 2002, 2003 thinking, well, this will probably last like another 4 or 5 years, but it ended in March of 2004. Now really the amount of series in it is just about Yugi, who has this pyramid thing that gives him the ability to, it just enhances him. It's kind of like a split personality type thing. I guess at the time this wasn't really seen that much, but luckily it works well. Now obviously the Japanese version of this is a little bit more stern, and it's a little bit more focused and darker, but there's also a card game attached to it. And so I've thought about playing the card game and getting involved in that. There used to be a place, and there still is a place in my town that has a place where you can play these. Now this is 10, 12 years removed from the height of its popularity. So naturally, you just have to, I mean, it's fun, but there just isn't, I don't know how many people are still going about and enjoying it. So, but I do know how to play the game. I've got a Game Boy Color game that came out right before they stopped making games for it. And if you look, you can see, you see that big Manila building past that car, that's the mall. Well, actually, no, it's not. But yeah, I have a Game Boy Color game. And the thing about the Yu-Gi-Oh game series is it's not like Pokemon, to where you've got an adventure mode. All it is just the card game, and if you don't know how to play it, the only two things you can do is attack and defend. And if the defending points are higher than your attack, you will be the one that takes damage. I used to know how to play it, but I've never actually played a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm actually considering doing it. So, because there's something to be said about strategy. And I do feel as if, like, this is a lot of fun. Something to try. I mean, there are two weaknesses to it. First one being that you do have to invest a lot of money to get a good deck. And second, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to actually take the time to do it. But other than that, it's just a decent activity. You know, just go to your card game place and have at it. The place that I used to go to, and I've actually been there once or twice, they revised it. It's called Meta Games. Thing was that guess I'm gonna take the long way, but thing is that you were able to have sodas and chips and Doritos and things. This was like an arcade where you could sit down at. And naturally, the biggest thing that's available right now is Magic the Gathering.